Sup. Okay, welcome back to Blazy B, where I'm blazing a B. Part 3, Guatemala. Here we freaking go. Okay, so Acatenango, yes, check. Tikal, check. Awesome. Then we made our way to Semuc Champey in Lenquin. So that is like deep in the jungle. So when I started researching Guatemala, I did not see like that being a big thing at all. Like I was not on like anything. It's such a hidden secret. And then like random bloggers would be like, made it all the way to Semuc Champey. Like, whoa, what a trip, but gorgeous. Like, okay. Like you kind of just see that, but nothing in specifics. So I had reached out to a friend of a friend and again, shout out Hannah. And she said, you gotta go to Semuc Champey. So looked it up. I mean, it just looks gorgeous. It's this nature preserve and it's got all these pools and all these things. And it's basically like this big river in this bay of like pools above it. And this river goes 300 meters and underground, all these pools atop it, and then pops out the other end. You cannot go below that. I guess 3 people have died. I think by accident, like falling into the river where it just like poosh is in, and then you're kind of just like fucked. That sucks. But yeah, so nature preserve, amazing. So we get to this hostel in Lankeen. And so all the hostels, because it is like a hefty ass trip to get there. I mean, hefty ass trip. And we went from the hostel in Flores. So from Flores all the way down to I don't know, Coban, and then over and then down and then into the jungle, windy roads. Like this was the first time we've seen coffee being grown. Like we have been in like volcano world landscape. So like big volcanoes, big peaks of things, but very dry, very not great soil ish it feeling areas, right? Um yeah, like, whoa. Tikal was very jungle-esque. That was the first time we were really in the jungle. But then this was like, okay, we have like crops growing. It just felt way more jungle and like moist air, able to grow things. And with all coffee plants, which is interesting, Dallas was telling me more in depth about like dual agriculture. And for every coffee plant, there was a corn stalk, which was interesting. So just planted throughout was just corn, coffee, corn, coffee, corn, coffee, corn, coffee. Crazy. So that nutrients, they kind of like help each other, gives one shade as well. So interesting, cool. So we get into Lankeen and we get into this hostel and we've got a private room and there's like a jumping like swing into the river and we make our way down to the river and all these bats. It's like sunset and all these bats are just running down this river and they are catching all the bugs in the air. And we are sitting, dangling our feet. And I keep think like I need to speak at all times because these bats are gonna hit me in the damn face. They're just coming at me. And I'm on the edge of this like circle of water, and then I'm next to a tree. So they're right up in my grill, flying in front of my face, which was pretty cool. But I felt like I needed to like sing or something to make sure they knew I was there. It was crazy. It was crazy. And so through our hostel, we signed up for a tour of Semuc Champey going to the nature preserve. And so that's like an official national park and it's just the pools. So the whole tour gives you like a guide from the hostel. They take you to the river outside. You do all these activities prior to then going to the park, doing this massive hike. It's like a 500 foot hike, but it's just straight up. And for everything we did, we had to hike. And it was honestly hilarious for how, and everything's steep no matter what. Like our hostels, everything just felt like, did they design everything off of the pyramids? Every just so steep. And our asses were just crushing it by the time we were fit after a whole time in Guatemala, especially after I think I hit like before Tikal, I started being like, whoa, diarrhea. So I was really getting fit. I was keeping nothing in me and doing all these hikes. So we start off, we get also like our transportation from the hostel is in the back of the pickup truck, which is my favorite way to ride. Like when you've got something to hold on to and you're standing up in the back of a pickup and you're kind of like surfing USA with a view and you can feel the air around you. Best thing ever. So we're packed in there like hogs and we're, taking our ride and we're just trucking it up the hill and then we go deep into the valley. And we get down there and you see just all these kids are trying to sell you chocolate and it's like, no, 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 no. Granted it was a Sunday, but still it just, it's like get the no. Um it's just interesting. And then all these families are just like trying to sell you things, trying to sell you things, trying to sell you things. And we make our way over like there's like lockers, bathrooms, all the things. So there's a swing. Well, okay, we did not go to the swing first. First things first, it was like, here's the sketchy. We're going into the back caves first. These caves. And they're like, don't bring your phone, just like don't do it. We just had a candle and I brought some water because I'm thirsty. And I'm wearing a one piece, so I can always put it down the front of my suit. It's great holding. So we make our way into this cave. I've got my Keens on, my trusty Keens, and we are, knee deep in water most of this. Some of this we are fully submerged, treading water. And in this cave and like walking around the outside, going up these waterfalls, just all this stuff. And if your candle would go out, you'd have to like light it with someone else's candle. At one point I did a jump off some ledge in the cave. That was fun. Just all these things. It was pretty nutso. Yeah, it was nutso, but fun. That was enjoyable. So we were in the cave. We probably went like a mile deep, I think he said. And then we came back and got out of there. And then we had like war paint before that he had rubbed off, the side of the cave, gave us all, face things. It was epic. Our guide was something fierce. He was Jungle Boy. His name was Otto. Um, Something fierce, that man. It was so funny. So after that, we got done. Okay, caves good. Started off with cave, check. Then we did the swing, and you sat on the swing, and I mean this swing is hefty. And you go between these two poles and you go out into the river. And so first time you kind of end up doing a little bit of belly flop because you're overextending yourself because you're trying to like launch yourself in, but by the time you land, you're gonna be a belly flop. So you kind of need to like launch yourself up and then drop. Like keep the swing up, lose, drop. So I did it twice, felt very good about it. Also, trusty Keens, like with something on your feet, it's so much easier to jump into a body of water. I have bruised the bottom of my feet. I have broken my vagina open with water, just jumping too high, landing spread eagle. Like, yeah. Oh, I've been through it I love to jump into water. It's so dope. So, okay, swing, great, jump, awesome, land it, yay, another one, awesome. And then we all get tubes and we start cruising down this river. And I've got the spins. I'm just rolling around in this tube, loving life. Dallas like, what would only make this better is a beer. And then literally out of the side of this lake or this river, this guy was like, cerveza, and he starts throwing them out. And Oscar, so we met this guy Oscar, French English dude. He was great, super fun. We hung out with him a lot, like the whole day. He was in our crew. Then we hung out with him that night. Great guy, great guy. We like Oscar. So the guy from the side chucks Oscar a beer. He catches it. Awesome, great. And then this guy packs up a cooler of beers, grabs a tube, and jumps into the river and starts chucking them at everybody who wants a beer. So we all get a beer. Dallas is in hog heaven. The high gods have heard her prayers. So we like get down this river a little bit. We get out. I end up running into a rock there, actually bruising my leg pretty damn bad. Oof, duh, that was. It still has like a little knot in it, I'm tender. That one like went yellow and kind of blackish. Yikes. But we get out there, then you have to like walk back. So again, trusty Keens. And we walk back and then we walk all the way in, all the way to the back. And it's to these this big set of waterfalls. And from there we jump off like a small ledge. We all did it. Dallas did it too. And then I'm swimming around. She's chilling on the side. I go with Otto, and oh my god, my throat. Sorry. So I go with Otto, and I'm like on this rock, and we're in this flat spot, and he's like, "Okay, you could jump from up there." I'm like, "Yeah, I want to jump from up there. Like, let's do it." And he's like, "Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yes, yes, 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 I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure." He's like, "Okay, but you got to like hefty swim over here, grab that rope, like whip around here." Also, that's all in Spanish. It's been really nice that Dallas and I can travel in Spanish and just be vibes. And that's how we get in with all the tour guides. And it's just like, we can communicate. And this is dope. So, anyways, he's like, you can't like wuss out of the top. Man, my throat's going for it. So I didn't wuss out of the top, but ended up just being me. So we get to the top of this, and you can go back into like a cave from the top. So we do that, and he's kind of showing me around, and then blah, blah, blah. And then we go, and he's like, okay, this is where we jump from. And, by that time, it's like, you kind of start going out. Your vision's like, okay, we are high up here. We are high. We are high. And then you're like, we need to jump now before, shit settles. Like, you just launch it, man. So I yelled down to Dal, like, you good? Get this jump, for sure. And then I just launch it, can't think too much about it. Which is great because she ends up, it's like front facing the camera. She gets me getting into the water. And there's footage of her like recording herself being like, fuck, trying to switch over the camera. I can't get it. Amazing. Love her. But that jump was epic. And then Jungle Boy did me up, and he climbed the tree that I was at the base of, went to the top of it, and jumped from that. Frickin' A. And we have a video of that, which was epic. He ended up jumping from the top of the waterfall later. So we did this whole jumping thing. It was epic. And then we went back into the park. So we're now going like up to do this climb. And then we're going to go hang out in these pools for a while. And we ended up going like pool to pool to pool. We did this like underwater thing. So you had to like, I felt like I was in Pirates of the Caribbean. It was like, keep your mouth up and your eyes up, and you're walking under like a sheet of rock, like you're in a cave that's filled with water basically, and you're it's crazy. You can't be claustrophobic in doing this. And then at parts, you'd get like, okay, you gotta like really put your ears in the water, keep your eyes open, and like keep your mouth up, all the way up, so you can get air, because if you want sideways, you got water. It was crazy. And then he's like, okay, I need to take a deep breath, and I'm going to send you under. And he pushes you all the way under. You go under this, I guess, like, rock thing, and then you pop out on the other side. Oh my gosh, this man, he was crazy. And then we just like jumped from certain things. It was amazing. It was so much fun. And we had a great time. We like made friends with our entire crew. We thoroughly enjoyed Semuc Champey. What else? Yeah, lots of walking around. We spent like hours that whole time. And then it was fun because, you got the whole truck ride back to stand up. And we kept picking up people on the way back. People kept asking for rides and getting in. It was crazy. And they don't speak a lot of Spanish. They're speaking Mayan languages. And that was very interesting to hear. And current, these are current dialects that they're using. This is what they speak. And that I thought was very, 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 very cool. So, Semuc Champey, highly recommend. And, we left. We were actually late for our bus. We had to get a tuk-tuk. It was a very stressful morning. And then we had to like change buses on the way because our bus was like too booked up that we were sitting in the aisle seats. It was miserable. It was awful. The Aussies behind us were super hungover. It was crazy. Oh my god, it was a lot. But okay. Um yeah. So it's like 6 or 7 hours then to and no, Guatemala City. So it's about 11 hours from Flores down and then 6 hours or so over to Guatemala City. So it's a hefty amount of travel, I will say, to get there, but it is so worth it if you're a water person, nature person. It was so nice. It was just so nice. The water was amazing. It felt good. The people were super sweet. The hostel was great and they had good food. We thoroughly enjoyed our time. Our room was great. Bathrooms were great. I spent a lot of time in the bathrooms. They're great. And yeah, the tour was the best. Jungle Boy was by far the best out of the guides that we all had. He was hilarious. He was very funny. But yeah, the swimming in the water and all the tricks and just the so much fun. And then the bats, the second night we were at the hostel, all the bats came again down the river. And that type of stuff to watch is just so cool. I mean, hundreds of bats flying around, just cruising down the top of the river, going straight down the river. How many bats are passing through? Just whoa. Crazy, 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 crazy. So, if you can get it out there, Semuc Champey, highly recommend.